Shedeur Sanders, the Browns' rookie quarterback and the supposed face of their future, has reportedly walked out of the facility, benched and disrespected once again, leaving fans in the locker room on edge. Kevin Stefanski, once seen as the steady hand guiding the team, is now being pushed to his limits as ownership spirals into chaos and the NFL world watches Cleveland unravel in real time. From the moment Sanders arrived, the energy in the city changed, but now the team teeters on the brink of a full-blown crisis, exposing all the messy twists that don't make the highlight reels. If you want the real story behind this Browns drama, it's time to pay attention, because this might be the moment that finally breaks the team. The energy in Cleveland was undeniable. Fans, players, even ticket sales felt it. Browns games had transformed from a routine obligation into must-see events, all thanks to Shedeur Sanders, whose electric, magnetic presence gave the franchise a face to rally around. But tension simmered behind the scenes. On one side, Kevin Stefanski's old-school discipline and system-first approach; on the other, Sanders' youthful confidence, charisma, and fearless leadership. The Browns tried to have it both ways, let him shine in the spotlight while quietly pulling back the reins, marketing his jersey but limiting his control of the offense. The result? Chaos. And the latest incident was simply a long time coming. Sources say Shedeur Sanders was benched again, this time after a reported clash with Kevin Stefanski during a private film session that erupted into a full-blown argument. Stefanski allegedly questioned Sanders' commitment to the system, while Sanders reportedly challenged the system's ability to win games. When he was benched again, Sanders didn't stay quiet. He walked out, shut off his phone, and refused to communicate with the staff, effectively ghosting the franchise. And honestly, it's hard to blame him. This wasn't just a coaching decision. It was a power move. What's unfolding is bigger than a single benching or a bad game. It's a clash of eras, a battle between two philosophies: Stefanski's old-school, control-driven model versus Sanders' bold, unrestrained leadership, controlled and cautious. Stefanski sticks to the script, prioritizing the system over the player. Sanders, by contrast, is the new wave: young, confident, social media savvy, and unafraid to call out what isn't working. When these philosophies collide, locker rooms fracture, and in Cleveland, that fracture is happening now. The locker room is reportedly split. Some veterans side with Sanders, admiring his work ethic and leadership that elevates the offense, seeing him as the team's future. Others back Stefanski, valuing chain of command and discipline, unwilling to excuse a rookie ghosting the organization over a benching. The fans are furious, trending #FireStefanski, threatening season ticket cancellations, and even merchandise sales for Sanders have reportedly dipped, not from disloyalty, but from frustration at the team's internal war. This isn't just noise, it's a fanbase in open rebellion and ownership caught completely off guard. Jimmy Haslam and the front office, who marketed Shedeur Sanders as the future of the franchise, are scrambling with emergency meetings, leaked frustrations, and behind-the-scenes finger-pointing. And you know what that usually means: someone's getting fired. This situation won't end cleanly. It ends one of two ways: either Stefanski is out, the team fully commits to Sanders, adapting the system around him, or Sanders is gone, and the Browns double down on culture and accountability while watching their rising star thrive elsewhere. There's no middle ground anymore, and the league is watching, taking notes on player empowerment, social media leverage, coaching rigidity, ownership misalignment, and fan demands for transparency. Cleveland has become the cautionary tale, turning a rising star into a PR nightmare and choosing ego over evolution. The most painful part? It didn't have to be this way. Shedeur Sanders wanted to lead, to make Cleveland home, and he had already won over fans, the city, and the spotlight. All he needed was support and trust, yet he got politics, power struggles, petty decisions, and a coach who couldn't get out of his own way. Now it's scorched earth. The question is whether the Browns can still humble themselves, clean house, and make Sanders the centerpiece again, or if it's already too late. If he walks, is traded, or demands out, he will thrive elsewhere with the system, trust, and keys he deserves, leaving Cleveland to watch in agony yet again. The real storm is just beginning, and while the public sees chaos, behind closed doors, the locker room, ownership, and coaching staff are teetering on the edge of total collapse. Fans have a voice in this crisis, and every move the Browns make now could change everything. The real story is unfolding behind closed doors in locker rooms, phone calls, and the quiet corners of Berea, where management is sweating bullets over how quickly everything unraveled. Ownership reportedly expected Shedeur Sanders to be the new face of the franchise, not in 2 years, but immediately, bringing the Browns out of quarterback darkness, reigniting the culture, attracting fans, and maybe delivering a playoff run that didn't end in disappointment. He wasn't just a player, he was hope, business, brand, Cleveland's comeback story. And now he's ghosted the team. This isn't a third-string wide receiver throwing a tantrum, it's the franchise quarterback, the one featured on season tickets and marketing campaigns, saying, "I'm out." The warning signs were there: the benches, the sideline body language, the clipped interviews, the fire dimming. And at the center of it all? Kevin Stefanski. He deserves credit for bringing calm, competence, and structure to Cleveland, but somewhere along the way, he stopped evolving, sticking rigidly to the system while the player meant to lead the team felt forced to survive. Stefanski's system, only his system, left no room for improvisation, flair, or personalities that challenged the hierarchy, and Shedeur Sanders was never a plug-and-play quarterback. He's a builder, a bold, new kind of leader meant to reshape the franchise and bring Cleveland something it hasn't seen in years. But Stefanski wanted obedience, not innovation, and when Sanders questioned the scheme or suggested changes, he was punished, first quietly, then publicly, then humiliatingly, and now, irreparably. The fallout is severe, the locker room is radioactive, veteran players frustrated at missed opportunities, receivers uncertain who will throw them the ball, and practices filled with distraction and disillusionment. Meanwhile, coaches are attempting to sell Dillon Gabriel as the solution, but even they look unconvinced. Gabriel may be talented, but he is not the leader Sanders was destined to be. He's not the heartbeat. He's not the face. The true face of the franchise just slammed the door behind him, and the ripple effect is hitting everyone. The locker room may be fractured, but the fan base is shredded. Old-school supporters back Stefanski's discipline-first approach, while the majority, who had bought into Sanders with jerseys, tickets, and merch, are furious, canceling orders, shutting off broadcasts, and trashing the coach online. Sports networks circle like vultures, debating culture versus chaos, while rival teams reportedly have mock trade packages ready. Sanders' value has never been higher. He leads on and off the field, drives ticket sales, moves product, commands a locker room, and trends globally with a single tweet. That a player with this much momentum is benched, not for performance, but for refusing to fit a rigid system, is not just incompetence, it's malpractice. Cleveland doesn't have weeks or days to fix this, they have hours. This story is too loud, too messy, and too viral to ignore, and there's no walking it back without major changes. The Browns face only two choices: fire Stefanski, offer a clean slate, personally apologize to Shedeur Sanders, and rebuild the offense around him with a coach who understands him, or trade Sanders, take a massive package in return, and accept the consequences of letting another franchise turn him into the star they were too afraid to trust. Either way, Cleveland is changed forever. This city is gritty, loyal, and emotionally invested to the point of self-destruction, and when they believe in a player, they build statues in their minds before his first season ends. That's what Sanders was becoming, not just a rookie or a quarterback, but a symbol that the Browns had finally gotten it right. And now it feels like they fumbled the one thing they couldn't afford to lose. After years of quarterback carousel, draft busts, and false starts, Sanders walked in with poise, maturity, and command, and the franchise froze, benched him twice, and now he walks. The news spread like wildfire, not because it was shocking, but because it was inevitable. You can only silence a leader for so long before he stops listening, and Shedeur Sanders stopped completely. This wasn't about immaturity or ego, it was a fundamental clash between what Sanders represents and what the Browns were willing to become. The NFL is evolving, locker rooms are no longer strict military operations, but collaborative spaces for players who want to win and be heard. Stefanski never adapted, Sanders did, and when the two collided, it was like two eras of football trying and failing to coexist in the same stadium. If the Browns keep Stefanski, they're sending a clear message: control matters more than creativity, obedience trumps leadership, and a silent quarterback is preferable to a dynamic one. But if Sanders walks, that door slams shut forever, and wherever he lands, he'll get the system, support, and marketing Cleveland only pretended to provide. Browns fans will watch from the sidelines, another jersey in the trash, another could-have-been story told for decades. This isn't just about a quarterback, it's about philosophy, identity, and the future. Inside the building, everyone's pretending to stick to the plan, coaches walking fast, players with dead eyes, ownership asking, "How did we screw this up?" And the truth? It wasn't a mystery, they saw it coming and walked right into it. This wasn't a coaching failure alone, it was a total institutional collapse, shaking the franchise to its core. Now the whole league is watching the Browns unravel like a live episode of Hard Knocks, Tragedy Edition. Shedeur Sanders' absence isn't just a personnel issue, it's a cultural collapse. Receivers wonder if timing drills even matter. Defensive leaders like Myles Garrett are frustrated, not with Sanders, but because the team keeps sacrificing prime years for offensive politics. Fans see it all, a rookie quarterback with poise beyond his years benched for daring to have a voice, a coaching staff doubling down on silence and control, and the same old Browns just with shinier logos. Cleveland was ready to go all in on Sanders, not for hype, but because he delivered results, made football fun, and restored hope. Now that hope is benched, gone, or possibly traded. If he lands elsewhere, the Browns will become the punchline again, losing the QB of the future over vibes. But it doesn't have to end this way. The team still has a choice, one that starts with leadership owning their mistakes, sitting down face-to-face with Sanders, admitting they tried to force him into a box, listening to what he needs, and treating talent like partners, not pawns. Sanders isn't just another quarterback, he's a movement, and movements don't wait for slow, scared organizations to catch up. If the Browns fail, Kevin Stefanski's days are numbered. Even if Shedeur Sanders survives this season, the damage is done. You can't bench your most exciting quarterback in years, cause him to walk out, and still expect the locker room to stay intact. You can't fumble your future and expect veterans to trust your judgment, or silence your star and expect fans to keep showing up. The fuse has been lit, and this fire won't be contained with a midweek press conference. This story isn't just about Cleveland. It's a league-wide wake-up call, exposing the clash between the old rigid, authoritarian, fear-driven coaching model and the new wave of player-first, emotionally intelligent, relationship-driven leadership. While Houston, Detroit, and Miami empower their young talent and reap the rewards, Cleveland is stuck playing 2004 football in a 2025 league. The brutal truth, if Sanders never plays another down in a Browns uniform, it won't just be a what if, it will be a permanent black mark on the franchise's already tortured history, a cautionary tale discussed for decades. It'll be right up there with passing on Deshaun Watson in 2017, drafting Johnny Manziel, and hiring Freddie Kitchens, another reminder that when given a choice between courage and control, the Browns always pick control. But the fans don't have to. You built the buzz around Shedeur Sanders, bought the jerseys, packed the stands, and drove the energy and hope. Now you have the mic, so use it. Let the team know this isn't just a blip, it's a betrayal. This isn't part of the process, it's the problem. Because if Sanders walks and the Browns implode, you'll want to be able to say you fought to stop it. So, what do you think? Is there any chance Sanders returns? Should Stefanski be fired before the team hits the field again? And if Sanders leaves, where does he go next? Drop your takes in the comments, be ruthless and real, and subscribe, because we'll be watching every twist, every leaked text, and every sideline stare as this unreal drama unfolds. This isn't just a story anymore. It's history, and the Browns are writing it in permanent ink, one mistake at a time.